Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up on the program today, I give my way too early Texans record prediction for the 2025 NFL season. We obviously know the Texans' full schedule, all 17 games. We have them, where the Texans were playing, our home and away games, everything. We got it all mapped out for you. And on today's show, I'm going to give my best guess on how the Texans are going to end the 2025 season. But before we get started, Texans fans, stand up and like the video if you think the Texans are going to three-peat as the AFC South divisional champions. If you think the Texans will once again run the South, go down and hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video, because I believe the Texans once again are the most talented team in our division, and I think the only team that's going to stop the Texans from winning the AFC South 3 straight years is the Texans. They're the only team in this division that can truly beat them. It's going to be themselves. But if you'd missed our video yesterday, here's the Texans' full 2025 schedule. Week 1 opening up against the Rams, and obviously you see 2 Monday Night Football games, Bucs and Seahawks. As we keep on scrolling through the schedule, I mean, you see it right here, right? Like the Texans, they're in the middle of the pack, 16th in strength of schedule overall. So I'm going to be going game by game and giving you my prediction on whether or not the Texans are going to get a dub or if they're going to take the L on each week. Let's start, obviously, week 1 up against the Rams. This is a Nick Caley prove-it game. He was formerly working with Sean McVay and the LA Rams before he was hired as the Texans offensive coordinator. I think the Texans get the dub in this game. I think they come out strong week 1, head into LA, and come out with the victory. I think this is a prove-it game for this offense, and to really show that CJ Stroud is still him, I think the Texans come out week 1, and they really prove themselves. Week 2, I think the Texans also get the dub. I think they go into Monday Night Football up against the Bucs. There's been a lot of stuff around the Texans in primetime matchups, right? Last year, it was a very rocky relationship with the Texans and playing on prime time. There are some games where they did pretty well, and then there's other games like that Jets Thursday Night Football, like the Christmas game that we really don't want to speak of, especially with my producer, Joey Peterson, helping running our Ravens channel. He knows well about the Christmas primetime game for the Houston Texans. So that kind of begs this question. How are we feeling about primetime games? Do you like seeing the Texans in primetime? I still think I like it. Like, I like having all the attention on the Texans, having it where they're the main focus for the week. But I know a lot of Texans fans get more worried because they feel like this team doesn't play as well on primetime games. Let me know down in the comment section, do you like the Texans having the primetime games? Give me a yes, give me a no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break here, all good. Scroll on down and give me your answer. Week 3, our first game against a division foe in the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Texans get the dub. And I tweeted it out earlier. Everybody's talking about, wow, Travis Hunter, he's going to play both ways. But people aren't thinking about the actual challenge of him playing both ways. Just think of this. In this game, Travis Hunter could, in the same game, try to beat Derek Stingley, who is a top 3 corner in this league, and try to stop Nico Collins, which I believe is a top 5 wide receiver in this game. That is going to be a tough task for Travis Hunter, and I think the Texans, they have the Jags number right now, so give me the dub in this one. The Texans start off hot, 3-0. Another division game up against the Titans. I think the Texans start off on a hot streak. Give me the dub in this game. It is Cam Ward rookie season, and he's coming to Houston. It is his first time playing in Houston as a rookie. The Texans at home. I want to see NRG get lit. Give me the dub in this one. Then, week 5, we go to Baltimore. Revenge game. We're going to get the dub against the Ravens. You've got to come out strong in this game because last time the Texans faced the Ravens, it was absolutely horrible. That Christmas Day game, I still have nightmares about that game of how bad the Ravens just put a butt whooping on the Texans. It was a sad game. It was like watching a Little League football game where the other team has guys who are, 9 and 10 years old playing in the 6-year-old division. That's what it felt like watching this game last year. They need to come out and really prove themselves in this matchup. Now, the Texans have a week 6 bye. So then let's go to week 7. And this is where I think the Texans actually take a little step back in this game up against the Seahawks. Traveling to Seattle. It is another Monday night football game up against the Seattle Seahawks. I think they take the loss in this game. So the Texans really hot start, but then take a little bit of a step back, traveling to the West Coast, having to play in a tough game at Seattle. I have them getting their first loss here. Then a bounce back the next week. They play at home up against the 49ers. A lot of questions against this 49ers team, right? Like Brock Purdy, he'll be the quarterback this year, but will he be a happy man? Will he be paid? And how does this team look with a lot of new weapons, right? They got rid of Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. The rumors are always there around him being traded. Are they really going to rely on guys like Ricky Pearsall and an aging, George Kittle, a guy who's been oft injured, and Christian McCaffrey? A lot of question marks in this game right here, but could be a fun one, especially because, D'Amico's old team. He was a defensive coordinator for the 49ers before he became the Texans head coach. I think the Texans get the dub in this one, though. We'll continue to break down all these games and my 100% valid thoughts on each game and whether they're going to win or lose, but if you need a jersey, if you want to rock a jersey for these games, we also got, the Texans jersey schedule as well. I can, put it up on our community later on of which jerseys are going to be wearing when. But if you need a new jersey to rock at Texans games, I got you covered. Go to chatsports.com/Texans jerseys. That link will be in the comment section and description of today's video. It sends you straight to our friends over at Fanatics, and it lets them know that we sent you over there. So it would help me out a ton. Use that link right here, chatsports.com/Texans jerseys. If you just want to do a little window shopping, go check out what jerseys they are, which ones are on sale, because there are a couple that are on sale. I know the Joe Mixon one is currently on sale. So if you want to go check it out, that link right there, like I said, comment description of today's video. Next up, Week 9. This one is maybe a surprise to some teams. I have them taking a loss up against the Denver Broncos. I think that defense is going to stifle the Texans just a little bit. And, Bo Nix, Sean Payton, I think maybe, they come into town and have a good matchup up against the Texans. You can't have the Texans winning them all, right? So I have the Texans taking a little bit of loss right here. A little bit of a surprise, but the Texans rebound the next week. Week 10, they sweep the Jacksonville Jags. They get the dub in this game. I think the Jags and the Colts are going to be really bad. I think the Titans actually sneakily will be the team that really contends with the Texans in this division. Week 10, though, I have the Texans getting the dub up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then going into Week 11, this is where I think Cam Ward, I really think he is a good quarterback, starts to come into his own a little bit. This Titans team, it's in Tennessee. I think, the Texans, they split the series last year with the Titans. I think they do the same thing in 2025. I have them taking the L in this game up against the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward. And then Week 12, a Thursday night football game. The Texans in this game with a tie up against the Buffalo Bills. It was almost a overtime game last year before Kaimi Fairbairn kicked the game-winning field goal. I think these teams are evenly matched. Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, two premier quarterbacks in this league. I could see this being a knockdown, drag-out fight, especially on a short week's notice. Give me a tie in this game for the Texans up against the Buffalo Bills. Now, going into Week 13, Texans at Colts. We sweep the Colts. Get the dub in this game. It's easy money, right? Or this is the first time we played the Colts. So I'd have the Texans getting the dub in this game up against Indianapolis. Who knows who will be quarterback? Will it be Anthony Richardson? Will it be Daniel Jones? Only time will tell. This is the game where I have it. This is the number one game, in my opinion, for the Houston Texans. This is the one I have circled on my calendar. Third time going to Arrowhead in the past year. We played them in the regular season. We played them in the playoffs. And now in this regular season, we once again have to travel to Arrowhead. I think the Texans finally get that monkey off their back, and they defeat Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. It needs to happen. Both of those games last year were winnable. I think the playoff game was winnable if we could get some sort of blocking from our tight ends and offensive line. And then that regular season game, if Tank Dell doesn't go down and doesn't get injured, remember, that touchdown that Dell scored on that injury, that was to bring the Texans up. I believe that was to tie the game. I think the Texans have gotten so close multiple times to beating the Chiefs. I think they finally do it in Week 14 up against Kansas City. And because of that, because I think it takes a lot out of the Texans, I think this is the trap game. The not really talked about trap game of after a hard game. We always talk about, trap games being, the game before the tough game. That's the trap game. I think this could be the trap game. If the Texans are so focused on the Chiefs, they're riding that high of the Chiefs win, and the Cardinals, a sneaky, decent team, coming to Houston and surprise this team, humble them a little bit, and the Texans lose in Week 15 up against the Arizona Cardinals. But it's okay. They bounce back up against the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said the Oakland Raiders. In Week 16, I think, this is a brand new team, a lot better than I think a lot of people are going to, expect the Raiders will be this season. New head coach in Pete Carroll, new quarterback in Geno Smith. They have Ashton Genty. How is that run game going to look behind that Raiders offensive line? I think this will be a lot tougher of a game than people think, too, depending on how the Texans' O-line shakes out, because the Raiders have a very scary front. Christian Wilkins was injured last year. He's coming back. Max Crosby on the edge. I think this Texans offensive line, they're going to have to handle the Raiders front, but I still have the Texans getting the dub in Week 16. Week 17, up against the Chargers. This is where I think they take the loss. This is in LA at SoFi. I think the Chargers are going to be fighting for a playoff spot. I think the Texans, not that they're already going to have the AFC South clinched at this point, but I think they're going to be in a much more comfortable spot than the Chargers. The Chargers lost to the Texans in the wild card round last year in the playoffs. I think Harbaugh, I think Herbert have these guys really playing some inspired football towards the end of the year. So I have the Texans taking a loss in this one. And as I kind of Freudian slipped earlier, I have the Texans beating the Colts in both of their games this year. Texans get the dub in Week 18. I don't even care if we rest the starters. We're still getting the dub in this game up against the Indianapolis Colts. And remember, it was just 2 years ago where the Texans played the Colts in a Week 18 matchup to make it into the NFL playoffs. C.J. Stroud, his rookie season, he got the dub. He got the Texans in the playoffs. I think he does the same thing here, where the Texans will win the division for a third straight season. Now, I gave you my record prediction. Give me your record prediction in the comments section. Let me know. What do you think the Texans are going to go this year? Because we're all, 100% accurate with what we think in the middle of what month is this? May? And how the Texans are going to do in September and October. Obviously, we all know how the Texans are going to do then, right? Right? Hey, give me your comment or give me your prediction down in the comments section. And if you didn't do the math throughout my entire video, in my way too early record prediction, I have the Texans going 11-5-1 and once again winning the AFC South.